The scream tore through me like a blade. My daughter's arm was broken, and I was screaming too, cradling her as she sobbed in agony. Karen, our neighborhood's self-appointed ruler, loomed over us, red-faced and unbothered, clutching her clipboard like a scepter. She shouldn't be on private walkways if she can't handle them, she snapped. No trace of remorse. Around us, the crowd froze. Phones came out, a kid cried, an elderly man's walking stick clattered to the ground. The afternoon sun cast long shadows, but nothing was darker than the fury igniting in my chest. Karen had yanked my disabled daughter, Lily, from her wheelchair during a so-called beautification day because her wheels scuffed the new sidewalk sealant. Now, Lily's tiny arm bent at a sickening angle. That was the moment Karen crossed the wrong father. I'm a federal criminal investigator, and I was about to turn her smug little empire to dust. It was supposed to be a simple Sunday stroll to the park, a ritual I shared with Lily to watch ducks by the pond. Born with cerebral palsy, she navigated life in a wheelchair, her sparkly rainbow hoodie a beacon of her courage and joy. She loved the world, even when it didn't love her back. I made sure she felt every breeze, every laugh. Then Karen stormed in, a thundercloud of HOA flyers and arrogance. The trouble started when Lily's wheel grazed a freshly sealed sidewalk. Karen appeared like a vulture, shrieking, "This is for pedestrians only. No wheels on wet surfaces." I explained the pavement was dry, but she didn't care. Her voice grew sharper, her finger jabbing closer to Lily. Then, without warning, she grabbed the wheelchair and yanked it back. Lily's scream pierced the air, followed by a crack that stopped my heart. The world blurred as I scooped her up, her elbow twisted unnaturally, her face pale with pain. Karen had the gall to say, "It's not my fault if someone falls when they're in the way." I roared, my voice raw, as neighbors gasped and filmed. Karen shouted at them to stop recording, which only made more phones appear. Paramedics arrived, and something felt off. One EMT, Lou, greeted Karen with a nod and a strange, "Didn't expect to see you today." She whispered something to him, and he barely glanced at Lily, saying, "Probably just a sprain." But another EMT, a woman with sharp eyes, knelt beside me and murmured, "Get an X-ray at county and file a report. Trust me." Her words screamed corruption. Karen wasn't just cruel, she was connected. At the hospital, I held Lily's hand as she sniffled, her arm in a temporary cast. My mind raced, scrolling through our porch camera footage on my phone. It captured Karen's yank, crystal clear, time-stamped, undeniable. Assault charges were too small for her. I'd seen her kind before, entitled, manipulative, untouchable. As a federal investigator, I knew how to dismantle empires. I texted a contact, "Pull everything on HOA President Karen Delaney. Complaints, citations, lawsuits, sealed records, now." The reply came fast, "You'll want to sit down." The files were a horror show. Fines for discolored curtains, evictions over minor landscaping, fake noise complaints against families with kids, even a blind veteran banned from the pool for his guide dog. Karen had terrorized the vulnerable for years, unchecked. That night, I tucked Lily into bed, her pain dulled by meds. Her chest rose and fell, and I felt a storm brewing inside me. I'd faced criminals, but nothing hit like seeing my daughter hurt by a clipboard-wielding tyrant. In my office, I opened an encrypted laptop, created a folder, HOA Takedown, and dove into the files. A neighbor's security feed I'd accessed caught Karen's voice. "I don't care if she's disabled. She's a liability. Someone needs to teach them a lesson." Not a mistake, a mindset. I saved it, and a cold smile crept across my face. This wasn't just a lawsuit. This was a federal reckoning. Morning came, and I made Lily banana pancakes with extra whipped cream, forcing a smile. She joked about her cast making her a robot with a broken wing, but her eyes betrayed the pain. I promised her justice, then returned to my war room. Karen wasn't just HOA president, she was treasurer, zoning enforcer, and puppet master. That power concentration screamed corruption. Using my clearance, I pulled records of residents driven out by fines, disabled families, renters, veterans, all gone within months of challenging her. I traced her allies. Glenn Bishop, a disbarred lawyer posing as the HOA's legal advisor, drafting fake eviction letters with stolen templates. Fraud, plain as day. No one reported it, assuming it was legit. Fear silenced them. I called former residents. Sandra, a single mom, met me, her voice trembling. Karen fined her 75 times in a year for disorderly planting and told her, "Spend less time in therapy with your autistic son and more pulling weeds." Sandra's car was towed, her mailbox removed, and fake complaints forced her out. Her pain mirrored mine. I vowed to make it right. Back home, Karen stood in my driveway, pretending to inspect my grass. I stared until she slunk away, sensing the noose tightening. I set up Karen Cam, high-def surveillance on my property. I wasn't just watching her. I was tracking her cronies, like Rich, the maintenance head billing thousands for unperformed landscaping. Satellite images showed no work crews, just lies. This was racketeering disguised as HOA dues. The HOA was a sham. Meetings were staged, real decisions made at Karen's wine-soaked brunches. Dissenters got fake roles like bush height monitor to shut them up. An anonymous email tipped me to a secret March 17th meeting audio. Karen's voice bragged about putting that federal guy in his place and laughed. "It's not my fault his little girl can't handle a rough nudge. Broken things belong indoors." Glenn chimed in. "Keep the fines coming. They'll drown before they sue. Extortion, caught on tape. I had enough for a federal complaint, but I wanted Karen to bury herself on camera, in public, with no escape. I planned a trap, a neighborhood gathering for accessibility awareness, posted on the HOA forum to lure Karen. I used her buzzwords, community, beautification, knowing she'd bite. She did, suggesting her self-named fountain as the venue. I arranged for 2 federal colleagues, posing as disability advocates, to film, plus hidden cameras and audio. Residents with grudges against Karen were ready to speak. The day was bright, tables laden with snacks. Lily, in her rainbow hoodie, beamed despite her cast. Karen strutted in, clipboard gleaming, posing for photos like a mayor. Her eyes locked on our banner. Equal space, equal respect. And her smile twitched. She took the stage, voice syrupy. "So glad we're supporting community, though the theme could be less divisive." I nodded, letting her feel in control. Then I struck, "We're here to address patterns of harm in our HOA." Karen froze. "What patterns?" she snapped. I nodded to Janice, fined for her mom's wheelchair ramp. "You told me it wasn't aesthetic," Janice said. "My mom broke 2 ribs." A man followed. "You fined me $1,200 for non-compliant furniture you advertised." Another, "You threatened to evict my sister over her PTSD dog." The crowd's murmurs grew. Karen sputtered, but I played the March 17th audio. Her voice mocked Lily as broken, bragging about silencing the weak. Gasps rippled. A woman cried. Karen's clipboard hit the ground, her hands shaking. I stepped forward. "I'm Agent Michael Trent, federal investigator. You're under investigation for civil rights violations and corruption." I handed her a complaint folder. "Don't destroy documents or contact residents." Karen's knees buckled, her voice a hiss. "This is retaliation," I replied. "It's accountability." She stumbled off, alone, her power shattered. That night, 40 residents sent evidence, screenshots, recordings, threats. Karen's armor cracked, and the community roared. The video went viral, shared on local news with headlines, "HOA tyrant mocks disabled child, faces federal probe." Karen's words echoed over her pale face. I didn't leak it. Neighbors did, fed up. I handed my case to civil rights lawyers and auditors. Subpoenas hit the HOA, and black SUVs raided their office, seizing computers and files. Karen vanished, on leave. But her backyard press conference, blaming smear campaigns as a dog barked, flopped. Her restraining order against me backfired, triggering deeper scrutiny. We found $312,000 siphoned to fake companies, funding her renovations, trips, even surgery. 2 board members were complicit, pocketing kickbacks. The Department of Housing and Urban Development joined the probe, and residents filed state complaints. The HOA froze. No meetings, no fines. Kids drew chalk art on once-patrolled sidewalks. A cartoon of Karen as Queen of Nothing appeared on the clubhouse. Mrs. Holloway, an 80-year-old fined for tomato plants, gave me a folder proving Karen devalued homes to flip them. I waited for her to trip. She smiled. Karen was arrested quietly, charged with fraud, civil rights violations, conspiracy, and endangerment. Bail was denied after she tried hiding money offshore. In the courthouse, she passed me, eyes down, a shell of her former self. I helped residents rebuild the HOA with transparent rules and a seat for disability advocates. Lily's school gave her a Strength in Small Packages award. She told her classmates, "If you speak the truth, even when it's scary, people will listen." My eyes blurred with pride. Karen's trial was a rout, guilty on all counts. 7 years in prison, assets seized, her house sold to a non-profit for disabled families, its fountain renamed Hope's Corner. A national news piece celebrated Lily and the neighbors who stood up. Letters poured in from kids in wheelchairs, thanking her bravery. One evening, Lily walked partway to the park, pausing at the spot Karen hurt her. She grinned. "Let's keep going." And we did. At home, she asked if Karen would apologize. "Some people won't," I said, "but your truth is bigger." She nodded, requesting pancakes. In my office, Karen's cracked clipboard sat above a closed complaint folder. Not a trophy, but a reminder. Cruelty thrives in silence, but truth, even from a small voice, can shatter empires. Lily's rainbow hoodie became a symbol, a spark that lit a revolution. What's the wildest injustice you fought? Share your story in the comments. Let's keep the truth shining.